Okay, this is a little reminder about today's lesson on how to find the gradient of a line. Now we did cover this, but this is a nice example to use if you're a little bit stuck or you wanted to remind yourself. So we are looking for the gradient, which I'm going to call G. Now in the lesson we saw that the gradient is equal to the rise divided by the step. Okay, so let's have a little reminder about what the rise and what the step is. So let's just zoom in here. Okay, so the blue line is my straight line, and you can see it's on the coordinates. Now let's just pick 2 points. It doesn't matter at all which 2 points you pick, because to see the gradient we have to see a change in how quickly or how slowly something is increasing its steepness. Okay, so here's our blue line. Let's pick 2 points. I'm going to pick this point here and this point here. Okay, so the first point, or point A, I'm going to say A is at coordinate 1, 1. Point B here, I'm going to say is at coordinates 4, 4. Alright, if I had graphed line paper we could see that properly, but that's where those coordinates are. Okay, so first of all we have to find a rise and a step. Now I'm going to start from point A for this one. So what we're going to do, we're going to draw a right angle triangle to determine the rise and the step. Alright, but the triangle must have one side horizontal and one side vertical. So let's start with a horizontal. Let's go from A and let's track out horizontally. Okay, keep going, doesn't matter. You can go the other way as well. It's just got to be horizontal. Okay, and then from point B we need one vertical side. So we'll go through point B and go down like that. Okay, and what we can see here, we have got a right angle triangle, with the third line being the blue line on the graph. So this part I think everyone found quite easy, drawing the triangle. The step is the horizontal part, so I'll label that S for step, and the vertical part is the rise. Okay, so let's just check we're okay up to that point. We've got our straight line. We want to find out the gradient, so we pick 2 points on our line, the blue line in this case. I've called them A and B. We want to know which coordinate points they're at. So we know A is 1, 1, we know B is 4, 4. Then we have to find a rise and a step. And to do that, we draw a triangle with the line, a right angle triangle, making sure one line's vertical and one side's horizontal. Alright, which is what we've done there. That part is relatively simple. The next part is still simple, but this is where we have to keep our wits about us. Okay, so let's go to the next step. What values do the rise and the step have? So let's begin with the step. Do it in red, so it's a different colour. The step. Okay. Well, first of all, we have to notice this is the step, which means it's this horizontal line. We need to know how big this horizontal line is. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to measure it. We've got here a lovely number line, which is going to give us our units to see how big it is. So where does the line start? Well, it starts at A, this point here. And where is that on our line, on our x-axis? Where is that? Well, if you can't see it, have a look at our coordinates. X and Y. Oop, hang on, what was that? Undo. 1 second. Let's get rid of that. Okay, let's go back to it. Do apologise. Like I was saying, X and Y there. So we want to know how big or how long the step is. Well, it starts at 1. X is equal to 1. We can see that if we just draw it down to the x-axis. But if you want to be sure, look at the coordinates. It's at 1. And where does it finish? Well, it finishes at 4, because that's where the step crosses the rise. That's the corner of our triangle. So it starts at 1 and it goes to 4. Well, that means the step is 3. 4 take away 1 is 3. So we can see the step is 3. Fantastic. is it a positive or negative 3? That's the next step. Is it positive or negative? Well, think about where you began. We began at A and it was 1, and when we finished it was at 4. Has it got bigger or has it got smaller? That's right, it's got bigger. It's gone from 1 up to 4, which means it is a positive 3. Positive 3. Okay, excellent. Now let's look at the rise. Let's do the same thing. Where does the rise begin? Where does the rise begin? Well, we're going from A to B. So we're going along the step and up the rise. Okay, if we were going to B to A, then we'd have to go the other way. But we are going from A to B. We can't swap halfway. We started with a step going from A to B, this way. So we have to continue going that way. So we're going from A to B. So we've gone along the step, and now we go along the rise. And we are going from, well, 1 up to 4. It's the same jump. We're going from 1 all the way up, where's this point, to 4. So that is also a rise of 3. Is it positive or negative? Let's use the same argument. Okay, so we start at 1 and we end up at 4. We've gone from 1 to 4. Is that a positive increase or is it a decrease? Well, 1 to 4 is a positive, isn't it? So that is positive 3. Excellent. So we can safely say that the rise is 3 over the step, which is 3, and we know 3 divided by 3 is 1. That blue line has a gradient of 1. Brilliant. Okay. Now, I think we're okay let's look at this a different way. Have a go at it. What happens if I said, do your own example, right then, and then have a look at the second video, which is going to look at a slightly more complicated 2 different points. Let's call them example, where we're going to see a different gradient. Alright? Have a look at the next video. Let's stay in the positive sector, because it's easier. Stay in the positive sector. Let's say point B is our starting point, and point C is our finish. Okay, so we're going from point B to point C. Oh, no.